Hey, Night Smoke here, and we're playing some more Banner Saga 3. We've checked our heroes, and I don't think we can rest anymore, but it's time we get into that tower. I know the serpent's still alive, roaming with its stomach cut open. Oh my goodness. Look to the right, and the serpent rides in the distance. It knows we're here, but won't approach, hopefully. After the last two encounters, I can understand why. I doubt that is what holds it back. For now, it's just trying to discover what we will do next. These horn towers are portals the menders built long ago. They allow us to enter the inner earth, the Dredge home. I knew the Dredge came from below, but inner earth, like caverns? No, not at all. Imagine another world with sun and sky like our own, but within our own. This would be a dangerous path, but the quickest route to the place where Ivan will undo all of this. She sees the skepticism in your face. I also came here to speak with you privately. I know Ivan may seem unusual or unapproachable, but he's a good person. Usually if you have to tell someone they're not bad. You're right. I've been careful to protect everyone, but in doing so only create more doubt. The fact is I saved him and he saved me. He is kind and devoted. There's a smile on her face, and you realize it may be for the first time you've seen. Infatuated girl. Huh. Truly love him. I don't want to excuse things to say the Volca lead different lives, hard in their own way. But don't we all deserve to be loved by those who would do anything for us? You two aren't making it easy. I'm not oblivious to this. I regret that I've not found a better way. When you asked to come with us, I was uncertain. I didn't want to take you away from loved ones, but I'm glad to have you here. I consider you a friend, one of the few Ivan and I have left. I would do what needs to be done to fix all this, no matter the cost. And I've decided that no matter what happens, not influence you again. Good, good. Trust is important. Wolves reaches in the wind, and you have the churning coils of the serpent on their wires, and return to where the others have already entered the tower. Alright, alright. You join the others already waiting in an enormous chamber beneath the tower. So what do you expect to happen next? Bar sputters. Ivan steps to the edge. We jump. Heavy footsteps echo high off high walls, and a dreadful outline stands in the doorway. Well done, witch, says Bolverk. Made a fool of me again. Even from here you can tell he's shaking with rage. Ivan screams for everyone to jump, but there is only hesitation, and walks to Bolverk. Oh no. The caravan watches Folka with rapt anticipation. I doubt we'll get another chance to talk, Bolverk, so I had to know. Is there anything left of you in there? I never left, Folka. You left. We thought it was what you wanted. I thought I was following orders. What's done is done. Yeah, that does sound like you. You get as close as you dare. You two barely acknowledge your presence. He's right. I'm more than I used to be. I've seen things you won't understand. What if the Volca can undo this, Bolverk? What if they really can? It doesn't have to end like this, you stubborn dolt. They lied to you, Folka. They're lying still. He points his axe at the Volca, and static flickers across Ivan's shaking hands. Those two took our reputations. They took our freedom. They took my life. They did all of this. Even if they can save the world, I won't allow it. Are you kidding me? Life's not fair. Is that your argument? Even when I was 8 years old, I never gave you such sniveling drivel. Don't destroy everything we made to save your pride. The Ravens need you, so do I. You feel the slightest shift in Bulwark's demeanor, but in a blink it's gone. Jump down the rabbit hole, Volka. I won't stop coming until every one of you is dead. That's all you've got for me? Me? She snatches Bulwark's axe from her belt and the one she threw and pushes it to his hand. If it's just revenge, why wait? Things are suddenly moving too quickly to react. You heave Bulk aside as Bulwark cleaves through one of your horns and buries his axe inside of your face. Hot blood splutters forth, your sight darkens and the room spins, but somehow Volka manages to drag you to the pit. Lightning arcs from Ivan's staff, scorching the ground around you in wild patterns, catching Bulwark's fur cloak on fire. Ravens reluctantly leap into the pit and you follow, tumbling down into the darkness as the light from the hole above recedes. A roar rings in your ears like the bellow of a thunder. Bulwark leans over the edge, his face wreathed in flame from the smoldering cloak. It's the last thing you see before everything goes black. Sometimes you awaken more tired than when you fell asleep. This is one of those times. Aleo is silently sitting bedside. You watching me sleep, dog? What? No, yes, Oddleif sent me to get you. Wasn't sure whether to shake you awake or let you. What's happening? Nothing good. Even without Rugga, his followers are stirring up trouble out by the gates. Oddleif's trying to talk sense into them now. Well, we better hurry, right? Although, what? I hate to say it, but we should bring as many clansmen as we find. It could be a grave mistake to leave them behind. You don't think they'll be safer here? I don't think we'll be safe without them. I've only got 2 days worth of food. And there's no more supplies. Uh-huh. Ubin, thank you for joining us. To the gate! You squint in the sunlight outside the cool shade of your tent, and the smell reminds you of the small farmhouses you once lived near Skoger. The field is full of horseborn, a lot more than there were before. Ubin stands in their midst, the shepherd of a confused flock. He's chatting with Gunnulf, catching up upon lost time. Ubin spots you and waves, beckoning you to join them. These horseborn lost a lot of leaders all at once. He tells you about the new arrivals. They haven't found a lot of sympathy here in Arberrang, despite helping defeat Ruin. Hate to crowd your camp, but what do you think about taking them under your wing? Are you sure they want that? We don't know until we ask. In times like these, I believe it's better to have too many friends than too few. Approach the horseborn and offer them protection under your banner. He called to the herd, and Ubin translates in his charismatically deep voice. They look dubious, but ask some questions. By the end of it, they have wandered away, but some have accepted a loose alliance. Through still gaping holes in the splintered walls, you glimpse the Dredge indolently lurking. Bleary-eyed workers do their best to fill the cracks. The foreman spies you at the head of the caravan. Giant fighters with strong arms, God knows who could use them, and they'll be well fed. The foreman prowls through your caravan, browbeating anyone healthy enough to shoulder timber. Not all who join show enthusiasm. Weary as the sunder salt left them, but the cause is worthy. So many survivors occupy the dirt along the common paths. They begin to blend together. A young girl conquers her shyness and comes begging for food at your feet. Others are inspired to do the same. You already know that supplies are scarce, but it would be a lie to say you have nothing. You know that if you start giving away your meager portions now, they won't stretch very far. Promise to do what I can when I have time. You're not sure why you said it, even you don't believe yourself. The others certainly don't, going by the quiet judgment on their faces. That's fine. I've got 2 days worth of food, and I've got so many people to feed. 1,200 clansmen, 400 fighters, and about 300 Varl. Where were you during the battle to defend the walls? I didn't see you. No. Dredge killer, shouts a woman as you approach. Contrary to what sounds at first like an angry mob, the opposite occurs. Thankful survivors crowd around asking questions you can't answer. What if Dredge attack again? What about the darkness? What do we do now? Things are bad, but we'll survive one day at a time. Their heads nod as you speak, but they're not listening. These people have been taking things one day at a time for quite a while. Still, many follow you as you head towards the gates. You call this progress on the walls? It takes forever just to get to the other side.
But I find myself instinctively worrying about Alette as I approach the gates, even though I know she's gone. Despite everything else going on, it's still mankind that worries me the most.
A growing crowd is gathering at the gates. It is easy to tell the curious bystanders from the hardened, darkened faces of Rugged's loyalists. But there are plenty of different colors being flown here. The Varl are also nearby, looking uncomfortable. As you step forward, the disgruntled murmur of the crowd turns into squeaking of rats skittering into hiding holes. You recognize the grizzled man standing before Oldleaf, one of Rugged's trusted allies, with hardened men of his own. Look who it is. Knew it wouldn't be long before you'd come telling us what to do. Rugged said this would happen before you murdered him. Ah, Rugged was only using you. Oh, is that right? Seems to me he just said things you didn't like. She wants to get us all killed. No, this is about hatred. It starts with the Dredge. How long before you believe that we're your next enemy? What do you mean, starts with the Dredge? This mad woman wants to open the gates and let the Dredge run amok. Not run amok, give them a chance to live. Just as there are Varl here, Horseborn, those Dredge outside, these gates include women and children. We know this. We've been taken in Dredge infant whose mother was slain. It has been amongst you the whole time. The loyalists show some genuine surprise at this. A disapproving murmur ripples through the crowd. Then tell me why I just lost good Varl fighting the Dredge for hundreds of years. When our leaders tell us to fight, we fight. The Dredge are no different. Bellower's gone. Ruin is gone. Thanks to us. Are there survivors beating down our doors crying for blood? No, they cry for mercy. Before he died, the king said everyone lives. You're right about one thing. There is no king here, which means we don't have to listen to a damn thing you say. Don't tell me it ain't about families just because you got none. You want to see our children trampled by slag? I don't see how any of this matters. When the darkness rolls over the city, we'll be in the same sort of dead. But all things being equal, I'll shed no tear for Dredge. You're telling me you all killed Bellower, you killed Ruin, now it's perfectly safe to let them all in here? Speak up, what are you trying to say? Oh jeez, okay. Or could take a chance on peace. There's no chance about it. The man appeals to the crowd now, speaking loudly. Why are we even listening to this? First they kill Minoff, then Rugga. Now they want to open the gates. How much is enough? Us kill Minoff? Are you? Looks to me like they won't rest until we're all dead and be left to keep them from the throne. Who here are the real criminals? Which of us are the traitors? You shouts so erupt in agreement. Fury fills the... Oh no, Rugga's faithful... Oh, jeez. Okay, well then fine. That's how we're gonna do it. Let's do it. Do 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 do. Ow. Well, we got him. Alone the fighting, but it looks far from over. If anything, it's just begun, and that's what worries you most. There's no need for this, you shout. It falls on deaf ears as more and more draw weapons. The wind picks up, tearing at banners and whips above your head. A growing gale throws men from their feet and bludgeons your sense of balance. A storm funnel approaches, crawling above the gates, riding it as zephyr, her platinum hair curiously touching by the male shore. She lands amidst the fighters like a leaf delicately falling from a tree, somehow terrifying in its grace. Stop this lunacy, she howls. What is this? Put your weapons down. The rowdy crowd diminish immediately in the Vulca's presence. These traitors are trying to open the gates and let the dredge on us. Will you listen? I'm trying to save lives, not end them. Enough warped creatures reside within the coming darkness, twisted and ferocious. That is the true threat now. I would have come sooner, but I was searching for a solution to protect Arberrang, and I have found one. I can save us if you can manage to be civil for a few moments. Where are the king's menders? I need them all. Doing whatever they damn well please since Meinolf died. He's dead? Then as the last surviving Volca, I'm taking control here. I expect the rest of you to put aside your differences while I gather the menders. What about the dredge outside the gates? Can't you do something, Volca? Blow them all off a cliff? Zephyr sighs in frustration as she turns to leave. The truth is, we may be safer with the dredge inside than out. We don't need to befriend the dredge, but you need to make space for them, for now. We cannot afford to give the warped more weapons against us in the coming days. She departs, ushering a rising gust of air that lifts her toward the keep. She leaps in long bounds like a springing gazelle, out of sight within moments. Everyone's lost their damn minds. I don't care what anyone says, those slag will murder us first chance they get. You trust them so much, prove it. Walk out there yourself, throw down your weapon, and prove you're harmless. Go on, the crowd agrees, screaming angry taunts. Show us! Open the gates! The man looks genuinely surprised, says nothing. Slowly, the large doors are pulled open for you. She whispers quickly before you step along beyond the gate. The Dredge child. I'll come with you carrying the child. Maybe they would see it as a gesture of peace. I'll take the baby, but you stay here. I know what the Volca said, but I've put someone in harm's way before and it cost me dearly. I will make the same mistake again. She nods, and the Dredge child is quickly brought to you. Everyone is waiting for your next move. You take a deep breath. Someone pushes the Skoger banner into your hand and it weighs as heavily as the child in your other arm. Dredge stands shoulder to shoulder beyond the gates, like warbling stops as you approach, and their many yellow eyes turn in your direction like a field of sunflowers. You force your legs to move. The dredge part around you. It feels suffocating even though they do nothing but watch. Now completely surrounded, you turn around, where equally captivated clansmen stare breathlessly from inside the walls. The dredge nearby look with curiosity at the Dredge child. The air is still, as if itself afraid to breathe. You raise the banner. Dredge follow as you walk back into Arberrang. They follow through the gate. They follow into the courtyard. When a man shouts, you can see his face clearly, but you don't recognize him. Just some guy, you're not sure exactly. But he's shouting, but it sounds like, "You'll kill us all!" He hurls a spear towards you, others draw weapons. They raise bows. Everyone reacts at once. A black shield suddenly deflects the spear hurled in your direction harmlessly away. The stone guard carrying the shield looks at you, then the Dredge child, then back to where chaos has erupted in the courtyard of Arberrang's gates.
Arberrang is broken. Now the strength of your banner will determine how long you can hold out, while Ivor and the Valka push on to their destination.
Oh.
Your choice is up to this point. The number of clansmen, fighters, Varl, and supplies remaining buy you days of survival. When your days run out, catastrophe will follow. Use this time wisely.
What? Alright, let's end the video here real quick.